Okay, so today we're taking a deep dive, and it's a really interesting one. You guys sent us this classroom discussion all about Percy Bysshe Shelley's poetry, and, well, I gotta say, it's pretty thought-provoking.
It is, yeah. Classroom discussions can be so insightful, can't they? You get that raw energy, those fresh perspectives.
Totally. It's like eavesdropping on a really engaging brainstorming session.
Mm.
And the two poems they really dug into, England in 1819 and Ozymandias, man, they pack a punch.
Oh, absolutely. Shelley was never one to shy away from big ideas.
So our mission today is to unpack what they uncovered in that classroom and see if we can get to the heart of what Shelley was trying to say about, well, power, society, and the whole idea of time just marching on, the big stuff.
Right, the stuff that still matters even centuries later.
Exactly. So let's start with England in 1819. The class pretty quickly identified it as a political poem. And it's not subtle, is it?
Not at all. It's a full-on critique of the state of England at the time. I mean, he doesn't hold back. Right off the bat, he goes for the king. Old, mad, blind, despised, and dying, he calls him.
Wow, that's, not exactly a glowing review. So what's he getting at there? I mean, why start with such a bold statement?
I think it sets the tone for the whole poem, you know? It establishes the sense of a monarchy that's failing, both literally and figuratively, like the whole system is on its last legs.
And then he moves on to the princes, calling them, let me see, the dregs of their dull race. Ouch.
Yeah, there's no mincing words there. It's like he's saying they're the leftovers, the worst of a bad bunch, that they've just inherited their power and privilege without earning it.
And he's not done yet. He takes on the entire ruling class next, those who either see nor feel nor know, but leech-like to their fainting country cling. Man, that leech imagery is pretty powerful.
It is. It really gets at this idea that they're parasites feeding off the country and draining it of its life force.
Right. You can almost feel the resentment, that feeling of being exploited by the people in power. The class talked about how that might relate to things like unfair taxes and corruption, right?
Exactly. It's that sense that the system is rigged against the ordinary people, and those at the top are just getting richer and more powerful at their expense.
And then there's that line about the people, starved and stabbed in the untilled field. Now, they were discussing whether that stabbed is literal or more like a metaphor.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, it could refer to actual violence and oppression, but I think it also works on a metaphorical level, like the people are being stabbed by poverty, by a lack of opportunity.
Like they're being wounded by the very system that's supposed to protect them. And then he goes on to describe the army as a two-edged sword turned against the people by those in power.
That's a really interesting image, right? Because the army should be there to defend the nation, but Shelley's saying it's being used as a tool of oppression to enforce these golden and sanguine laws, as he puts it, that are actually harmful to the people.
Golden and sanguine, those words are so loaded, aren't they? Like they represent the wealth and the violence of the ruling class.
Totally. And he doesn't stop there. He goes after the laws themselves, the judiciary, saying they're corrupted, that justice isn't being served.
It's like he's systematically dismantling every pillar of the establishment. And then there's that line about religion, that it's Christless, godless, a book sealed.
Yeah, that's a strong indictment of the church. It suggests that it's lost its way, become too focused on power and dogma, and forgotten its true spiritual purpose.
Right. Like it's become part of the problem rather than part of the solution. And finally, he goes after the Senate, calling it time's worst statute, unrepealed.
So he's really making his point, isn't he? It's like he's saying that this whole system, from the king down to the lawmakers, is outdated, corrupt, and in desperate need of change.
But then, right at the end, there's this glimmer of hope. He says, all these things are graves from which a glorious phantom may burst to illuminate our tempestuous day. What do you make of that phantom?
Well, the class had some really interesting thoughts on that. Some saw it as representing revolution, like the whole system is going to collapse, and something new and better will rise from the ashes.
And others interpreted it as representing the younger generation, unburdened by the past and full of potential to create a better future.
Exactly. It's like this idea of a fresh start, a new beginning.
Which is so interesting because it shows that Shelley wasn't just angry. He wasn't just criticizing for the sake of it. He actually believed that change was possible, that there was hope for the future.
Right. And it also challenges that idea that romantic poets were just about nature and emotions. I mean, clearly, Shelley was deeply engaged with the political realities of his time.
Absolutely. He was a revolutionary at heart. So let's shift gears now and talk about Ozymandias. It's a very different kind of poem, isn't it? but it still deals with the theme of power, just in a more, I don't know, philosophical way.
Yeah, it's more reflective, less directly political. It's framed as this story that a traveler tells about a ruined statue he saw in the desert.
And the description of that statue is so vivid. It's this massive broken thing, two vast and trunkless legs of stone, and a shattered visage with a frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command. Even in pieces, you get a sense of who Ozymandias was.
Right, you can just imagine him, this powerful, arrogant ruler, accustomed to getting his own way.
And then there's that inscription on the pedestal. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. It's like the ultimate boast.
It is. It's like he's saying, look how great I am. No one can compare to me.
But then, the very next line, nothing beside remains. All that's left is this ruined statue in the middle of a vast, empty desert.
Yeah, it's the ultimate irony. This guy who thought he was so powerful, who thought his legacy would last forever, is now just a pile of rubble.
It's a pretty stark reminder that even the greatest empires eventually crumble. That time conquers all.
And it makes you think about what really matters, doesn't it? I mean, is it worldly power and glory, or is it something more lasting?
The class was talking about how this poem can be interpreted on a couple of different levels. On the one hand, it's this universal meditation on the human condition, the fleeting nature of life and achievement.
But on the other hand, it's also a political statement. It's a warning to any ruler who thinks they're invincible.
Like, no matter how powerful you are, eventually, time will catch up to you. Your statues will crumble, your empires will fall.
Exactly. It's a reminder that power is always temporary.
So we've got these two poems, both dealing with power in their own unique ways. England in 1819 is this searing indictment of a corrupt system. And Ozymandias is this more reflective, philosophical exploration of the limits of human ambition.
And they both, in their own way, offer these really valuable insights into the human experience. They make us think about how societies function, about how power is used and abused, and about the relentless march of time.
Yeah, they really make you think about the big picture, don't they? And even though they were written centuries ago, they still feel so relevant today.
They do. And that's the power of great poetry, isn't it? It speaks across time and cultures.
Absolutely. So to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a question. We talked about that phantom in England in 1819, that symbol of hope and change. What do you see as the phantom of our time? What are the forces that have the potential to change the world, for better or for worse?
It's a question worth pondering, isn't it?
Definitely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you found it as thought-provoking as we did.
We always love exploring these big ideas with you.
And if you have any thoughts of your own, please share them with us. We're always listening.
Until next time.